Welcome to podcast number 2.
How was your week? When was the last time I saw you? Was it a week ago?
Remember.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
I don't even
I think
remember.
it was 2 weeks. Wait. I don't remember.
What was I talking about yesterday? I was talking about with them understanding how do I put this in words? Understanding that anything is possible and not just, I don't even know how to put this in words. God, right? I always talk about God, as you know. And how God is capable of anything. So learning to trust God, if you will, in life, and trusting that God is the ultimate orchestrator of things. So like you make your request known, you play your part the best of your ability, and you don't worry. So I guess the topic of discussion is like letting go of worry, and what does it look like to do that, and what does it look like to trust God, the universe, or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
And how do you do that? How do you trust? How do you let go of worry? If there's something like a deadline you need to meet or a bill you need to pay that you might not have the money for, how do you let go of worry and trust that that will be taken care of?
Well, let me ask you a question. If I say the word God, in your head right now, what do you picture? Because we have to be on the same frequency or the same page. Because you're picturing something different, I'm picturing something different. So we all have a different understanding of God. Mine has changed over time, actually.
Yeah, same.
So if you're asking me that question about the word God, to get the correct answer, I need to know what you're picturing. What does it look like to you?
Who is God, essentially?
Yeah, like to you, your vision.
Right.
Because you just asked the question, and when you're asking the question, you're articulating your vision. So when you say the word God, I need to understand what does it look like to you in your head right now.
Derek just asked me to explain God.
Because I could say it in a few simple words.
Right.
But I want to hear yours first, because I want to understand your vision. Unless you tap out, and I'll just say it.
I can see it.
Okay.
In my head.
Really? Can you paint it? Just wondering. Can you draw it out? Can you paint it? Can you explain just what it looks like?
I can describe it.
Okay.
It's almost like a blanket.
A blanket.
That wraps around all things that are known.
Wow, that's interesting.
But also sustains all that it wraps around, and it's all encompassing. So it's like a vacuum seal, if you will. It's like, but that flows freely.
Okay.
So move your hand like this. Do you feel the air touching your hand? Okay, so now.
Can I stop?
Yes, you can stop. So now you feel the air.
Yeah.
That air is the fabric of God, right? Hypothetically, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
In space, you won't feel the air, right?
Oh, that's true.
You won't feel that.
You won't feel that, I think.
No.
You're right. I think you're right.
But just as a metaphor of who I have learned God to be is this energy that encompasses everything, just like the air around your hand that you can feel as you move it back and forth, or the sheet that wraps around you, right? It's oxygen is the sustaining energy that sustains us.
Okay.
Right? But even oxygen is encompassed by this ever-present energy.
Okay.
That wraps around and is in and through all things known. That's the best I can do.
All right. Okay. No. That helps because otherwise, I think my answer would have been like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Right.
But that's interesting. Wow. So you say yours has changed?
Oh.
What was the most recent one? About how long ago? Just curious. Now we're diving into the topic of God. I love this.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I thought that God was this. I don't know if existential is the word, but like this, I guess, this existential entity that projected power and created. So almost like a human being, like we're separate from this glass or this table, right? Biochemically, if you will, or like whatever you want to call it. Just physically. We're physically separated from this matter. But we created this, right? We created
this, meaning this table? Oh, okay.
Right.
Like we put this together.
Yeah, we
assembled it.
We built it.
Okay.
But it started in the mind first. It was an imagination. Like, oh, I imagined this. There's resources. We go and we cut the wood and we build it, right? From our imagination.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I pictured God, was like he was this being that was like just creating things. Now I see him as everything. Like the sustaining, he is and is through and is sustaining all things. Everything that we're experiencing in all of reality is the very fabric of God, right?
Okay.
Now, does that mean, and a lot of people fall in the category of like, oh, now we are God, which is totally understandable. I think, okay, I can see where you can get that. I don't believe that. I believe we are sustained and we are projections of God. However, we're given a separate consciousness that is in alignment with God consciousness. We've disconnected down the road, and that's why there's chaos and disorder and perversion and distortion. Because God is love. He's this vibration of love. This consciousness, this conscious vibration of love, and we are that as well. However, we've distorted from that. And that's why there's hate and jealousy and envy and greed and all that kind of shit, because that is what you get outside of God. So,
does that mean you have to be close to that energy? Your consciousness has to be close to this consciousness to be with God? Or what do you mean when you say away from God, or when we don't have him?
So you're distant, but you're always connected, even if you're living in what Christians call sin, which just means like missing the mark, right? So you're distant because your vibration is not in alignment. So when you get close to God, right, which is love, loving yourself first and foremost. If a person can love themselves, they can find themselves getting closer to the one that has created them, which is all consciousness.
Okay.
God is an energy. He doesn't have physical body like us. So, but it's a personality. He's got traits. He's got characteristics, things that show up throughout history and all this kind of shit. When we connect ourselves to that and align ourselves to that, that's when we're closer to God. That's when we're living our greatest human potential. And I used to think God, I forgot where I was going with it, but I used to think that God was like this other entity, like sitting somewhere out there that's just casting orders. You know, like
I think I've once imagined that before too.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like sitting there with a bunch of angels. He's like, oh, you angels, go do this, or you angels, go do that. And even angels, recently I had this idea of like, they don't have physical bodies. I mean, even in the historic scriptures, they're described as having forms, but some of them, but it's like metaphoric. They're energy beings. So they're extra dimensional. They could show up in this dimension or not if they wanted to. They
True.
can
Yeah.
interact in this dimension. You just shared that scary whistle story, you know, so you've experienced ghosts or beings from another dimension.
Yeah.
And it's all energy. All of it is energy. And like what we're experiencing here and now, and I was telling everybody yesterday on live, is like I almost fainted the other night, and I was losing my senses. And so I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna lay down. So I laid down and I started losing my hearing. And I was like, but I was still conscious of everything. As I was losing consciousness, I was aware, I was conscious that I was losing consciousness. And I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to die, essentially. Like your body just shut down. And
Wait, this is like when you were falling asleep?
no, this is when I like almost fainted yesterday.
Why did you almost faint?
I was like sitting weird, and I think my blood sugar was low. Like the way I was sitting was like cutting circulation, and I got up really fast.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, ooh.
Yes.
So I'm familiar. I've fainted before, so I'm like super familiar with it. So I was like,
same here.
okay.
Oh yeah.
So I just fall on my bed. I'm like, until blood starts circulating again. But I started thinking, I was like, this experience that we're having right now, this physical world that we call physical, it's not even physical. It's just matter, or it's just energy vibrating at a different frequency than whatever other plane exists.
Interesting.
So in this plane, we call this wood and epidermis and plastic.
Okay.
Because it vibrates at a frequency that creates this form and shape. I don't know, this is all theory, but when we die and we cross over, maybe there would be plastic. Maybe there would be wood. Maybe not.
Right.
But what I truly believe is that there won't be suffering. There won't be pain. There won't be any of that kind of shit. It'll just be pure existence. And we talked about this before, like when you die in a state of hell consciousness, if you're trapped there, and I don't know this, maybe you stay there. So if you die in whatever state that you're in, do you stay in that state? You know, like if you're a criminal, if you're a horrible person, and you fucking rape and kill babies, and then you die and somebody kills you or you just die, do you stay in a state of hell? Right?
Interesting.
And then that goes into talking about salvation and all that kind of shit. But that plane of death, or the other side or whatever.
Yeah, the other realm.
What does it look like? I don't know. Like, I just know that there's something, or I believe that there's something, and according to science, there's got to be. Like, I feel like it points that there's got to be something else.
Another dimension of some sort. Yeah.
And factually, we've already proven 11 dimensions.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So 11 known dimensions. So who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like. So anyway, I can get into that shit all day.
What was the original question you said? Something about in the beginning. That's how we got into the question of God, and you said trust in God and kind of let the wheel go or something like that.
So here's how I'll tie all of what I just said, all that gibberish. To what I originally was talking about was an understanding of reality and knowing that how does worry serve us, or how do we get rid of worrying, right? If we understand reality, how does that get rid of worry?
Interesting.
Or does understanding what's really going on help get rid of worry? And the reason I brought that up was because my view of God has changed drastically. And I was sharing a story about a time I needed like $1,500 by the next day, and it was already 7 p.m. on the day I needed it.
Yeah.
And my car got towed, and I needed the money the next day, or else I was going to lose my car. And I remember going and praying, and at this time I still was under the understanding of God of being like this guy on a throne who's just shouting orders.
Okay.
So I'm
picturing
like,
this right now.
So I'm like, God, I need help. I need money.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my car. I'm worried. I don't want to worry. And so I put something on Facebook. Anybody got $1,500 I can borrow? Just like a joke. And sure enough, a random acquaintance, not even like a friend, just an acquaintance that knew me from the church that I went to, just so happened to log on and see that. Text messaged me like an hour later and was like, how much money do you need? And I was like, I have never gotten a text from this person like ever. I was like, wait, what? She's like, look, you're a brother in Christ, and I just felt like God is leading me to help you. How much do you need, and when can you pay me back? And I was like, oh my God, let me find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, she gave me the money I needed. I took care of everything. I paid her back. The point I'm trying to make is I fucking worried like crazy. Like crazy.
Yeah.
Yet still presented my request to the universe, to our creator, and said, I need help. You're the one who fucking makes shit happen, right? Like, can you throw some money my way somehow?
Right.
And it happened.
Right.
Not only did this happen, I didn't share this with anybody last night. Not only did this happen once, this happened 3 times.
Let me go try that right now.
Right. So this is the law of manifestation. This is the law of, I wouldn't say attraction because it's a bit different theory, but this is manifestation. Make your requests known. Dude, I was just looking in I don't know if it'll show up on this phone, but there's this Bible app that I have. And it the Bible verse was this. Oh, I don't have it here. Dang it. Hold on.
Here, you can Google on here if you want.
Okay, hold on. It should be in this app. Oh, come on. No, I don't want to do that. It says this in Ephesians 3:20 through 21. It says, now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. So it says this in the scriptures, and this is like 2,000 years old. Somebody wrote this.
So you're saying God gave you the courage to ask?
No, what I'm saying is that now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than what we can even ask or imagine.
Okay.
According to his power that is at work within us. Meaning, this is how I used to interpret it something else. Now what I think they're talking about is the manifestation power of God lives in every single human being. It is what unites us with his being.
Power, his energy. Okay.
His energy, his everything. It's a gift. And people call it prayer. People call it manifesting. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just make your request known. Let go of worry and trust that he knows what the fuck he's doing. Look out, look at the mountains, walk outside and go look at the mountains, look at the sky in the morning, look at the sunrise, look at space. Obviously he knows what he's doing, right?
Right.
What is a little request like, hey, I need a few bucks, you know? So the whole topic of discussion is like, even though I know that he knows what the fuck he's doing, how do you get rid of worry? Like, it still happens. So that's the question I was proposing. Even though you know, why do we still worry? And do you think it's possible to rid yourself of worry entirely?
I think it's possible to be mindful you're worried and know how to diffuse it.
That's it. That's what it is right there. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're on the same page then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think worry is a condition. Condition meaning it's conditioned in our brain to subconsciously to send that emotion of worrying for that problem. But it's a condition that we can be aware that, hey, we're doing this, and then you can actually diffuse the worry by the practice of non-attachment, maybe, right? So you practice the non-attachment work now because you know, okay, I'm worried. I always say worrying is oxymoron because you don't get results from worrying, you get results from taking action. Something I always tell like my business partners and some of the people we work with, our team, is you can always know the complaint, which is the worry,
right?
Or I'm worried about this, or this is the complaint. Mm-hmm. Look at it for no more than 20 seconds. Think about the strategy now, and then you got to go immediately take action.
Right.
So focus. Take the conditioning of your brain of dwelling in the worrying and going, all right, what is the solution? And now be solution oriented, not worry oriented. And I think once you take action on the solution, it diffuses that worry pretty quickly.
And do you feel like this is a kind of a habit or a skill to develop?
This is a very innate thing in a lot of general population. Mm-hmm. It's very innate, meaning it's subconscious. They don't realize it's happening.
Right.
And they can do it for 2 hours, 10 hours, 10 days, and not realize it. That's what I mean by innate. So it's not something that, it's either we are born with it because of a hardwiring from ancestors, or we actually inherit this learning from the community of people around us.
Worry.
The worrying, yeah. And or maybe not having the right parenting or coaches or teachers to really, give you a different light, give you a different angle, I think. So I think it's very possible to stop the worry if the number one thing is, like you said, the awareness is the most important.
Right.
So once you catch it, then you go, okay, what was the instruction to get rid of the worry, which was be solution oriented and going hard on a solution. And I think that's how you solve problems in your personal life, your love life, your relationship life, your work life, your business life, whatever life,
solution oriented.
Just focus on the solution. So I think that's like my answer.
Where do you feel like belief fits, and how does belief affect worry? What is the relationship between belief and worry?
So let's just boil it down to the fundamental first. I think the word belief, it's something that we have grown up hearing our community of friends, family, and loved ones, or radio or movie or magazines. It conditions us that this is the belief. Okay. So it's really just a subconscious memory that the brain just goes, oh, here's the memory that you need for this problem.
Yeah.
So we constantly go to that belief system. And this is where I struggle, where I'm starting new projects in my business world. I always use business because I'm in business, and that's just how I'm so mindful of myself. So I'm so conscious that when I have a problem, my brain goes to the belief system, or also known as the memory bank, to get the answers. But those answers, we know 95% is wrong.
Yeah, it's like old programs.
Old programs jump in, which is our ego. Yeah. Our ego goes, here, survival mode, fix it, right? Yeah. And now I look at it because I'm aware, and I go, wait a minute, that's not gonna solve my problem.
Right.
So that's why I have to let go of the ego and say, no, but thank you. Let me go listen to some YouTube videos, or buy a book or an interview or something, or Google or YouTube something to get some new data, Yeah. So I think the belief is innate again, but if you're not aware of the belief, then you're going to go down that belief system, and then you're going to get the same result as everybody 20, 50, 100 years ago.
Right. You're just going to repeat.
You're going to repeat the same results. So I think it's important for us to be aware again and go, wow.
Yeah.
I'm operating on an old frequency. I'm operating on an old memory.
Yeah.
I could be right, but let's see if that book is more right, or let's see if this
Right.
person is more right.
Yeah.
And just being open to people's opinion.
Yeah, and more solution based versus worry.
Yeah. Or depending on your belief system. I think that's hard to do, but once you get it, it's so self-liberating, and you get results you can never even imagine.
Yeah, man, I think that's such a...
Is that a fart?
No, that's my broken ass old phone.
Oh, the speaker. It was a broken speaker?
Yeah.
I thought it was a fart.
I dropped it way too many times. So now my phone farts and it doesn't ring. But it's 11:11. That's pretty cool. Belief.
We're 29 minutes in.
Okay. Belief and worry.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah. And I agree with so much of what you just said. Like, I was talking, I think I made a video, I was talking about beliefs and how to reprogram your mind and how we operate on these beliefs, and how I heard somebody say one time that a belief is just a thought that you think over and over and over again. So basically, a belief is, when you're born, it's blank slate. You have your you have your initial like key survival programs, which is like cry and shit your pants, basically. But it's a clean slate when you're born.
Yeah. You know what they call that?
What?
The true nature.
There it is.
That's the true nature.
You've mentioned that.
Yeah.
But then you have your parents over here. You guys can't really see this. You have your parents over here who had their parents over here.
Oh, yeah.
Who had their parents over here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Who got some kind of programming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Who got some programming from somewhere, who now are giving it to you.
Your parents. Okay.
And they're projecting their beliefs. So when you cry, what they do, so for instance, my mom thought it was a good idea to leave me crying in the crib until I stopped. Like, that was her way of like...
Do you remember that?
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Dude, I remember getting my diapers changed. I remember all kinds of shit.
Really? Oh, man, you got a powerful memory.
But ask me a fucking line from Nacho Libre, I can barely remember it. It's like one of my favorite movies. So my parents passed these beliefs. For instance, one of them was, my mom believed that leaving me crying in the crib was a good idea. She didn't know that belief created a belief in me that I'm not good enough. Like, I don't deserve love. I don't deserve good things. My dad too, like, he would always say things like, I'm like, Dad, can we go to Disney? It's too expensive. I don't know. So I'm a kid, I start thinking, oh, Disney is for those people. I'm a part of these people. We're not, I'm personalizing everything. I can't afford Disney. I can't afford good things. I can go to the flea market. I can do hand-me-down stuff. I can't do Disney, right?
Yeah.
So they're just putting all these beliefs.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, Dad, I need a drum set. Do you even know how to play the drums? No, but I can learn. Yeah, but what if you get it and you don't like it? Now I'm questioning myself. Yeah. Now I'm like, oh, fuck, my ideas suck. Like, oh, yeah, I'm not capable of things. All this shit. My parents don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
I turned 30-something years old, and now I'm like, someone flipped the switch, and now I'm like, oh, fuck. Look at all these faulty programs.
Yeah.
I've spent 30 years
inheriting those belief systems.
These belief systems. Which were they became belief systems, not the moment my dad said we can't go to Disney.
Right.
But every single time I thought about that, my dad says we can't go to Disney. That thought goes, we can't go to Disney, we can't go to Disney, we can't go to Disney, we're not good enough, we can't afford it, we can't afford it, we can't afford it. Guess what? The more I think about it, now I have a fucking belief system. I don't deserve good things. These people do, I don't. That's what that belief system, that is the program of that belief system.
That's deep self-awareness there. And that's that linear awareness is going to set you free.
Yeah.
Because you're aware of you did the work going backwards of understanding why you are the way you are now.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? I used to ask my dad this question. Dad, why do we die? What happens after we die? And he used to tell me, don't ask questions like that. You drive yourself crazy.
Oh.
And guess what? He was right. Because I guess I'm fucking crazy. But I couldn't help it.
You're not crazy.
I know.
You're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy.
Exactly. But it's like, I couldn't help it. I just, and I know why I asked those questions too, is because of, well, I believe it's because I experienced trauma really early. Like I had a dog who was like my best friend, and I fucking woke up one day where he was crying, the dog's dead in the living room wrapped in a sheet. I was just playing with him the day before. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I remember that shit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Death. Tragic death at a very early age.
Yeah.
So not only that, but like I'm experiencing all of my leaders, my older brother, sister, dad, mom, crying. What the fuck? This was like a really traumatic event, which led to me being the type of person that questions, I need to figure this out because that is reality. I need to understand this. I need to make sense of this. You can't just dismiss this. How the fuck? I guess some people do. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. But anyway, belief systems. So we create these belief systems. For instance, my mom neglecting me or
well, it's created for us.
Right, it's created
for us, yeah.
Where we're given it and we don't know what to do. We're just a child in theta brain state. So they throw a thought to us, they throw a belief at us, and it just sits there in whirlpools in our mind until it becomes a belief system. And then when we cross over the 7 years of age, when we're no longer in theta, this is our personality now. We don't believe certain things, we act certain ways. We have now created a story. And our story is, I don't deserve Disney. I always wanted like a gold ring and like gold necklace. Like I had all my Puerto Rican friends in Orlando that had all this gold that their family bought them, and I never had any of that stuff. So my dad, I'd be like, Dad, can I do this? I don't know, it's expensive. I don't know. So I believed I didn't deserve any of this stuff. Dad, I want a trampoline. I don't know. All my friends had trampolines except me. All my friends had the cool toys except me.
I could relate 1,000%. My dad was always like that with me too.
Right, yeah, you shared with me. So it was like, how does this relate to worry, right? And this is what I think, is that now, in my 30s, I have all these belief systems of lack and limitation and scarcity and the world is this way, right? And
are you anxious?
Right now?
Yeah, you're like drawing circles. It reminds me of a scary movie. This kid is doing something.
Yeah. I'm in the flow right now. So like, now I'm like, oh, I'm aware, of what the fuck are these things that are creating my reality. So when a bill comes up and I'm like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to pay for that. I can either go to my beliefs or and worry. I don't deserve this. I'm not capable. I'm not worthy. All these things. Or I can go to who I've learned God to be. The creator of the fucking energy that gives me life and sustains me. Okay, you're sustaining me. I'm here. And I'm living out this consciousness. You obviously know more than I do. So how about I ask you, hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
Orchestrator of all reality, can you help me? And if I truly believe that there is a God who orchestrates all of reality, there's no room for worry. So here's the difficult part. Is that's a new belief for me. Even though I've been walking with, let's just use Christian terminology real quick, walking with Jesus for over 15 years. This is a new belief for me because now I'm aware of my old limiting beliefs, and now I'm aware of the personality of God that I've never known before, of like who God actually is, the sustainer of and orchestrator of all of reality. But I have a problem. I got a bill to pay. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay, cool. And all I know are worry. All I know are these limiting things. Help me. I'm saying like, hey, like I know you're like the creator of the universe and all, but I'm freaking out.
Give me a break, bro.
I'm freaking out here, bro. How do you get rid of that? Well, practice. Just like the other beliefs. You trust once, then the next time a worry comes up, you do it again. You trust again. The next time a worry comes up, you trust again. And again, and again, and again. And eventually, the more you practice trusting, eventually, a fucking tsunami could, a comet could hit the fucking planet and be like,
yeah. There's this calmness to you.
Yeah.
There's this subtle understanding,
Yep.
clarity, and calmness to no matter what problems come up in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I respect so much about like, and I don't know much about it, but like Buddhist monks and stuff like that who can set themselves on fire and like reach this place of like detachment. Like, like I know what's really going on here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not to say, I just say I understand. I feel like I'm starting to understand a bit of their perspective.
Yeah. Right.
When before I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Some enlightenment.
Yeah,
to
right.
What they're the frequency they're on.
100%. Yeah. And it's like those people are more in tune with the one true God than 90% of people who call themselves Christians.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And it's like, whoa. That's the reality that I've waken up to these past few years.
Yeah.
Of like who God really is. Who's this Jesus? Was he a psychopath? Was he crazy? Or was he legit? Like, you know what I mean?
Describe let's boil down to the fundamental truth of like trust. How do you explain in a little more practical terminology what trust means? Like when to the action of trusting, what does that look like?
Man, I think it's...
What does that feel like? What is that perspective like?
I mean, think about like a trust fall.
Trust fall? Like...
Yeah, like, you know, when somebody's supposed to catch you, and you fall backwards, the trust fall. You think about, okay, what does it take to trust somebody to catch you? I'd be lying to say like there wasn't an inkling, like when you just cut my hair, I'd be lying to say there wasn't an inkling that you were gonna pull a prank and fucking fuck my shit up. Like, honestly, like...
No, just kidding, bro.
Deep down
I
inside,
told you so.
I'm like, I'm trusting you right now. Even though there's a part of me that's like, you motherfucker, I will kill you. Like, so it's like human, I don't know if I want to say this, but like, it's like human nature almost to be like, I don't know. It's like survival instinct to not trust, you know? But at the same time, it's how we stay connected as human beings. We have to be willing to be hurt by another person. In order for me to get my hair trimmed, I needed to be willing for you to shave a fucking reverse mohawk. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very real possibility.
You know what? You just said it. Because that's how I feel about trusting. It's let's just use the analogy of you falling trust, right?
Okay, yeah.
The trust is, well, if I fall and they don't catch me, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm just going to fall on my back.
Right.
Can I live with that? Yes. Cool. So that's how I practice the trust. Is, okay, cool, they're not going to catch me, but I'm going to fall and hit the ground. what's the big deal?
So it's almost like you revert trust from another person. If they let me down, it's okay because I trust myself and my ability to get back up.
Yeah. I think in different contexts, in a way. Like, people cut my hair before where they messed it up. I have no feeling of, oh shit, or you piece of shit, or what am I going to do now? It's more like, don't worry about it. It's going to grow back in like 2 days.
Right.
Dude.
And that's such a sign of like emotional maturity and just like maturity in general. It's just like an insecure person, like, why would you do this? I don't know what to do now. And they're projecting fear, which is coming out as anger, because they're afraid that they're now powerless.
Yeah, right.
And you know, like, oh, okay, I'm not powerless. Cool, you fucked up my hair. Great, cool, I can just shave it, or it'll grow back. Big deal.
Right. And I think that's what I wanted to make sure your audience understands too. Like, what does trust look like and feel like? Because I think this world, we use a lot of terminologies, but a lot of times I lived through 10 years, a decade of my life hearing all these advices, but they're so general that you don't know how to boil it down to the practical practices, and I think that's so important to address.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so
and
I was wondering. But I'm curious about your perspective of trust too.
I think you hit it on the head. And, in regards to what we were talking about and like trusting God or the universe or whatever, I have a need that needs to be met, and I have no idea how it can happen. How do I trust that my request, that God is even going to listen to me? And it's just kind of like, it's a little bit like what you just said, where it's just like, you just have to do it and trust that whatever happens, you have the ability to pivot. You have the ability to, okay, cool, like it didn't happen exactly like I wanted, but here I am now. What are my options?
Yeah.
I have this ability. I can still go, like I can still navigate.
Yeah.
And the more you practice that, letting go of the attachment and the entire outcome, you make your request known, and then you go about your day. When the time comes, if it isn't exactly how you've requested it, okay, cool. So what can we do now? Solution-based.
Solution-based, yeah.
And I think the more you do that, the better you get at it, and you eventually start living this life of trust.
Yeah, you literally trust everything at that point. Maybe there's a different word, because that word trust, it works on a different neural pathway I could feel for a lot of brains, a lot of neurons. I think it's, I really don't have a word for it, but to use the word trust, I think it's almost misleading in a way. But I don't know what the word would be to make it more neutral, make it more fair in a way. But is this reconditioning your brain to just, wow, I'm worried. And then going, all right, cool. What now? Let's strategize. And then, okay, let's execute the strategy, And then, like you said, now pivoting from there. Because once you start something or try something, you're always going to run into this hurdle, roadblock, wall, something. And then you just go, what's the next solution? Boom. That's the next solution. Boom. And then 5-6 steps later, you might get to your goal, or you might even end up with a goal that surpasses your goal, or you might end up realizing something completely different that just made you, but still heading in the same direction, which is beautiful, I have to say.
That's like the dance of life.
Yeah, it is a dance. You're right. It is a dance of life.
It's like people who don't live like that, they live in like stagnant. They live complacent, and they live in this state of like suppressed like regret and fear. Yeah, because they don't trust that things will always work out no matter what. And that life isn't about sitting and being comfortable and just surviving. It's about living and experiencing. It's like this beautiful dance. Like I moved to California with $200 in my pocket. I had nowhere to really go, but I was like, I'll sleep in my car for as long as I need to. Right. And somehow a fucking random dude that I knew in Houston was like, please live with me. Let me live with him for a year. Like, it totally was a fucking lifesaver. Little things started working out. hey, look, we're here. I've been here for 10 years.
That's
Never had a
amazing.
regular job. So like something's working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Let me check on my dog real quick.
Okay.
She was, what you doing, Mama? You okay? Come here.
What was she doing?
I don't know. I heard her smacking on something. And I don't know if she like hurt herself or she was chewing on something she shouldn't have. Okay. All right, Mom, let's go lay down. No. Come on, Mom. Come on.
She's like, oh hell no!
I know.
You're not telling me to go there.
Come on. Go get it. Good girl. Come on. Good girl, Mom. Let's go. Go. Yeah, I don't want to force you. But I will if I have to. Come on. Thank you.
Girl.
Very good. Very good.
All right, we're at 49 minutes right now. So
Okay. So for example, what I just did with my dog, like trust.
I saw you.
Like, when I first got a dog, I was like, dominant. I'm the fucking boss. I felt like that's what it needed. And then I read a bunch of articles and stuff. I was like, no, that's not how it works. This is a living being. It's all about love and respect. I don't like to force her to do things. If I have to, I will. But in the same sense, it's like this dance in life.
Yeah.
It's like we have to treat ourselves like that.
Yeah.
We have to have
With love and kindness first. Treat
Yes.
ourselves with love and kindness first.
Yes, like, look, here's a goal that I have. I want to lose weight. I want to eat better. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Yeah, me too.
Great.
I want to eat better.
Yeah. Great. You have all these goals. And I was just telling this artist that I work with, Lamont, and he's got these goals. I'm like, look, go easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, those are great goals.
Yeah.
But simplify it.
Yeah.
Right? And have some grace, because I know for myself, like, I would have certain goals and then I would beat myself up. Like, for instance, one of them was like waking up earlier, right? And I used to feel so much shame if I didn't wake up before 9 or 10 a.m.
Yeah.
and somebody called me, I would like, no, I'm not answering. Not because it was early, but because I was ashamed that I wasn't keeping my promise to myself. Therefore, I did not trust myself. Therefore, I felt shame.
Yeah.
Therefore, I was beating my own ass.
Yeah, you're being hard on yourself emotionally.
Yeah, I was saying, like I just did to my dog, get in the fucking cage. Get up. Do this. See, you're not good enough. See?
Yeah.
No. Instead of being like, hey, look, chill. Try again. Come on. You got this. Because you saw before she went in the cage, you guys didn't see this. She walks over there and she's like,
Yeah, she's like, nah, man. Like, I'm not going in there.
Let's go. So it's like, that's how I feel like God is, his personality is with his creation, and is like saying, look, I'm not condemning you.
Yeah.
I'm not, just because I came and I did what I did through Christ, there is no condemnation. I'm not condemning you anymore. Stop condemning yourselves.
I like that.
Fucking love yourself.
Yeah.
You're a human being.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? You're made in the image and likeness of the one true creator of all of existence and reality, which we know.
Yeah.
And you are that. You are created in that image.
Yeah.
Why are you kicking your own ass and treating yourself like you're a piece of shit?
Right.
Just because you might struggle with an addiction, or maybe you have a faulty way of thinking or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, or you didn't meet the goals or do something that you promised yourself. Like, don't be hard on yourself.
No.
That's the self-love there. Yeah, that's
Right.
important. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, self-love doesn't mean like buy yourself a car, buy yourself a home,
Right.
buy yourself things. It doesn't mean that, because the whole
I think a
world
lot of people
thinks-
think that.
Everybody thinks self-love is like, oh yeah, I love myself. I'm gonna buy myself all these things. No, self-love is the emotional practice, the spiritual practice. Being wrong and being okay with it, and
Forgiving yourself.
forgiving yourself, yeah. So
God, that's so
I think
fucking
that's
important.
really important to clarify. That's the thing. I need one too. You have a cup for me?
Yeah.
Dang, it's almost 12. Where's all your viewers from? Where are you guys from? What state?
I don't know.
What country? Do you have can you see statistics on thanks.
A little bit. I don't know how detailed
What's
it
your
is.
percentage of followers?
There's like 3 or 4 people in here now. Indiana. Skaggs is from West Virginia. He's speaking facts though, depending on when you're around, they said, yep. But environment does make it better. Sure, you can change the environment and scenery can change, but you can't run away from your own issues. Yes. Yeah, just dropping bombs in here, you guys. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you guys are on the right path. I think the ones that
sure.
are left in the room. You guys are doing something right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, I love the topic of trust. I love the topic of
Love this.
beliefs, and I think it's just this ongoing journey, this ongoing experience that humankind is experiencing. That is it's a dance between creation and creator that is so beautiful. And it's like there's matter in the known universe, which is like 4% is all we know of the known universe. Actually know the rest is dark matter.
Oh, I see. Wow. That fucking, you're right. I think that sounds like a pretty close calculation.
So Rob Bell has this theory that dark matter is things like emotions, like love and peace and patience and kindness, and these things you can't touch or feel in this world, but are there. That's dark matter. You can't put it in a bottle, but it's there. And it's undeniable, and it manifests in this physical plane through actions, right?
Interesting. Wow.
So,
Bill, what?
Rob Bell.
Rob Bell.
Yeah, I'll send it.
I'm gonna look it up.
And so anyway, that is essentially like not something to be discarded just because we only know 4% of the known universe. Just because we can't bottle it doesn't mean it's not there. And and that just goes along with what I was saying about like this is such a beautiful discovery process.
Yeah.
Life.
It's amazing.
And it will be for the next few thousand years. And who knows, maybe when we die, we fall asleep for a few minutes and wake up and they've created some kind of technology that brings us back.
Imagine.
You know what I mean?
Crazy, right? Oh shit.
Derek?
Welcome to 3024.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
Give me a beer, somebody.
Yeah. Beer. Remember when humans used to drink beer? Oh, they thought it was good for them,
Oh man.
So anyway, it's been great. This is a great conversation. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you so much. Thank you guys on TikTok. And until next time, don't hold your farts. Have a great week. And be who you are. Trust and love because you're loved. Adios.
Adios, amigos.